If you'd like to learn how to make this delicious Jamaican oven jerk pork that just falls off the bone and have the right amount of heat, please keep watching. Hey everyone, so today we're going to be making some Jamaican oven jerk pork. If you haven't had jerk pork before, trust me, you're going to want to try this recipe. It's really good. The marinade that I made, that's in this video, I did already make a video on it, so you can check my previous video out if you would like the recipe. So today I have pork shoulders. So I basically asked the butcher to cut it up in about 1 inch slices. So he did that, and you also want to get it with the skin on it. And I already pre-washed it with vinegar and water, so it's clean right here. So I'm about to put about 1 cup. I'm using about 2 big pork shoulders. So the more, if you have less than me, you don't want to use 1 cup. But for now, we're just gonna marinate this and put it in the. After we marinate it, it's gonna be in the fridge for about 1 day, so 24 hours. So you wanna do this the night before you cook it. So I'm just adding about 1 cup, and after I add about the cup of the jerk marinade, what I'm gonna do is add some of the adobo, and I'm also going to add some of the chicken and poultry seasoning. I know that this is not chicken, but you can also use that chicken seasoning on it. And also in the jerk marinade, there's no salt, so I'm adding the adobo and the chicken and poultry seasoning to also further season the meat to give it more flavor. So you're going to want to add enough, and this is all based on how much meat you're having. You don't want to add too much, but you don't want to add too little at the same time. And also, if you have any dried jerk seasoning, you can also add it at this point. So after I add everything, I'm just going to take my hands and rub everything inside. So you want to make sure everything is covered with the marinade and get in all the crevices of the pork. And you just want to make sure it's just the marinade is laid well inside the pork. So just do that, and after you do it, then we're going to cover it with either a saran wrap, or we're going to cover it with, I'm going to use a plate, but you're just going to want to cover it and then put it in the fridge after. So right here, I finished adding all the marinade to the pork. So I'm just cutting off a piece of a saran wrap, and I'm going to place the saran wrap directly on the pork. So you're gonna see what I'm doing right here. So I'm placing it directly on the pork, so all the flavors are just stays in. Then after I put the saran wrap on the pork, I'm just gonna add a plate over it, and then I'm just gonna put it in the fridge for 24 hours. So now it's been about 24 hours later since the pork has been marinating in the fridge. So you're just gonna get whatever container you're gonna use to cook the pork in, and you're gonna want to make sure it's big enough for the piece of pork that you're gonna use, because when you add the pork to the container, you're going to want it to lay flat. So you don't want to stack everything on top of each other. So just make sure you're picking a baking dish that's, just big enough for this. So after I add the pork to it, I'm just going to add the rest of the seasoning that's in the bowl on top of the pork. So next we're gonna get our beer. So I have Samuel Adams, but you can use Red Stripe, Heineken, or just whatever beer you have on hand. So we're gonna add about half of the bottle of beer to the pork, and just make sure that everything is covered, and just shake it to make sure it's seeped in everywhere. And if you're Jamaican and you know how jerk pork is made, or jerk chicken, or any type of jerk dish, you know that you're gonna base the jerk whatever that you're jerking with some beer. And this is just how we're just going to replicate it a little bit, since we're not doing it on the grill and we're doing it in the oven. So you cannot skip this step. So after we add about half the beer, then you're just going to cover the pork with foil paper. And after we cover it with foil paper, then we're going to put it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 1 hour. And don't touch it, just leave it for 1 hour. So after 1 hour, you're going to take the jerk pork out of the oven, and you're going to want to just check on it. And it's not going to be ready yet, but you're just going to baste the pork with the sauce that's in the bottom of the pot. So I'm just adding some of the sauce and putting it on top of the pork. So after I do that, I'm just going to cover it back up again, and I'm going to put it back in the oven, cover it in foil paper for about another 30 minutes. So now it's been about another 30 minutes. So in total, the pork has been in the oven for about an hour and a half covered. So now we're just going to baste the pork with the sauce that's at the bottom. And then we're going to put the pork back in the oven uncovered for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes uncovered, then we're going to drain the majority of the sauce at the bottom. And then we're going to flip the pork over and put it back in the oven for about another 30 minutes on the other side. And then after that, it should be finished and it's going to be looking delicious. Who's the oven jerk pork can't taste good? Look how this look. I'm telling you, this looks good, and as good as it looked, trust me, it tastes just as good. So this is the finished product of the oven jerk pork. In total, it's been in the oven for about 2.5 hours, and it's soft, nice, delicious, fall off the bone, everything that you want in a jerk pork. Like, come on, look on this. Anyways, if you want to know how to make the best oven jerk pork, just follow this recipe and you'll love it. You'll never go back. And anytime you want jerk pork, you can make it yourself. So now I'm just going to show you guys how it looks inside. I'm going to cut it up for you guys and, just share this goodness with you. I just hope and wish you could just taste it like I did and just taste how delicious this is. But come on, you have to try it. If you're not try it, something wrong with you. Please try this. And when you try it, just comment down below and let me know. And let me know how it tastes. Let me know how the marinade tastes. And tag me and everything. Tag me on Instagram and tell me how much you like it and share it with all your friends and family.